Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm out in the side yard doing some maintenance on the windmill. We've got it cranked down and locked, and I've got the blades off, and the problem I have is in here there's a set of bearings, and over time they've gotten dry and gotten water in them, and they're all crunchy and squeaky. So what I've got to do is I've got to completely pull this apart, flip the stator up around, and pull this hub off and put all new bearings and races in it. Pack it with grease, put it back together, new seals and everything. And while I'm at it, I have a few magnets here that have come delaminated from the disc, and those need to be rebonded. So it's generally just a maintenance run that's going to take me most of the day to do. It's all part of owning a windmill. Okay, I've stripped all the gear off of this shaft and pushed the bearings out, cleaned everything up, and I went to the local auto parts store, and they didn't have the bearings I needed, but they ordered them. They won't be here till tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So tomorrow I'll go down and pick up the bearings. I had them order me a spare set too, and I'll put this all back together. Now, this windmill, about every 2 years I have to pull it apart and do this. The bearings get dry, and it's not designed really that gracefully to take apart. There's a lot of work to get it apart. But it's once every 2 years, and if it's a warm day, it's kind of fun. What usually kills these windmills is over time the magnets will debond from the rotors, and if that doesn't happen, when the bearings get bad, the rotors will drift a little bit, and sometimes they'll scuff the stator. And this has got wires just under the fiberglass here, and if it scuffs it enough to cut a wire, that's pretty much the end of the road for that. You've got to do a new stator, and just all kinds of little things like that. It's a fairly high tolerance. The gap between the magnets and the stator has to be under 1/8 of an inch, and with boat trailer bearings, they're pretty precise, but as they wear, you can get enough drift to scuff a rotor and ruin it. But, you know, you just have to keep an eye on it and listen. How I can tell whether the bearing's getting bad is if I walk up to one of the guy wires that goes from the top of the tower down, that's stretched fairly tight, and put my ear against it. It's kind of like a stethoscope, and I can hear the sound of the bearings. If they're starting to get a little bit dry, they make a distinct sound, and that's when it should be pulled down and repacked. This windmill is a U-Pigot design, dual rotor, and it puts out, it's supposed to put out like a 0.5 kilowatt an hour, but that would be in a hurricane, and that's not going to happen. It probably generates $10 worth of electricity a month, enough to pay for itself over 2 or 3 years. But the real bottleneck in the whole thing that basically ruins it being efficient is the batteries. What we need is a set of batteries that the homeowner can buy for, say, $1,000 that have a 10 or 20 year shelf life and are capable of holding 120 kilowatts and hanging onto it for a month to a time. If we had batteries like that, everybody would have a windmill. Unfortunately, batteries are the real bottleneck. Batteries aren't very efficient at all. So that's my spin on the windmill. I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, try to have a really great day. Bye-bye.